Hello there guys, and welcome to a very quick tutorial on how to download and install Windows Server 2008 on ESXi. Actually, it's pretty damn simple. So first things first, we have to do that legally. So you gotta go to Microsoft.com and look for the evaluation ISO for Windows Server, because yeah, that's the right way to do it. You either buy the license, which is kind of expensive, or you go to the evaluation way, which is legal. There is a date limit, but that's not much of a problem. After all, it's just a VM environment. You can simply, make another VM. Anyway, the point here is how to make it come true. How to install the system on ESXi. So, yeah. So English or whatever language you want, click download, and then you have to go to your storage, whatever you want to upload the ISO file. Let's say I want to upload to Windows, my Windows cluster, my Windows storage clusters sort of thing. And you go to data store browser. You can make a new folder or not, that depends. It's up to you. I made an ISO folder, and here it is. I've uploaded it already, but you just gotta click here and upload. And if it's running from a local environment, which is the case right here, it's on a workstation. ESXi is running on workstation, so it's local, and it takes like 1 minute to upload because it's locally. It's a local network, so yeah, it's pretty quick. But if not, well, that will depend on your connection speed. Anyway. So let's go to 1 minute, which is making the VM and installing the system. So you go to VMs, create VM, create new VM. Yeah, name. Well, you can go with whichever name you want. I'll go with Windows Server number 2. So OS family Windows. Windows Server 2008 R2 64-bit. Here we can select the storage. I have separate ones for Linux instances and Windows instances, so I like to run them separately. That doesn't matter. I mean, it could be running from the same disk, but that's just how I like to do my things. Okay, this size specifies greater than the amount available. It's not a problem because the install is around 9.7 gigs, so we can go with like 20. It doesn't matter. I'm going with 19. Just RAM. Well, that depends on how much RAM you have got. I've got 8 in this VM in this ESXi instance. So I'm gonna go with like, it doesn't matter much, but I'm gonna go with like 2 gigabytes. I could go with more, but it's alright. Fin provision, that's up to you actually, the disk provisioning. So fin provision is like an empty bag. So let's say the hard disk is gonna have 20 gigs of size, 19, but let's say 20 to round up a little bit. And like the fin provisioning mode is like an empty bag, so it's fully empty, there's nothing in it, so 0 megabytes, and it expands as you add stuff. So let's say you just run a basic install like 9 gigs, and then it would just take 9 gigs, not 20, not the full thing. And if you use thick provision, it's gonna take the whole space. So the VMDK file is gonna have the 28 gigs already, because it kind of takes up the space, the whole space first, and allocates it in such a way that it's actually faster for the VM to run on it, but it takes space from your disk. So it's like a box. It's a very weird comparison, I know, but let's say fin provision is like an empty bag, and you can like add stuff and it gets bigger and bigger, and there's a limit, there's a size limit. And the thick provision is like a box. So it has a size already, it takes volume already. It's taking a whole bunch of space, even though there's nothing really inside of it. But it's a box, it's taking space. It's taking 20 gigabytes off your shelf. Let's say you have a shelf full of boxes, and each box is a VM, a thick provision VM, and there's nothing on it yet. There's no system installed, but it's there. It's taking space. It's taking space in your shelf, which in case is your hard drive. But anyway, that doesn't matter. So we go with thin provision, because then we can have a bunch of bags in the shelf. But it won't take space. I mean, it will take space, but it will take way less. So like if we could go with a 200 gigabyte drive, and it will only take like 9 for the installation, and we would have a lot of free space for future use, but it would not pre-allocate that space. So, you know, if you have like small drives and you wanna, you know, make it look like you have extra space, it's like, even though, I mean, I could go with like 400 gigabytes for this drive and thin provision. It would look like, oh, holy shit, guy got plenty of storage. But in fact, not really, you know, because it's just thin provision. There's no pre-allocation. It's just an empty bag. So it can go up to that size, but it doesn't mean that it has to be that size. So that's it. It shares a normal limit control this mode. Okay, that's okay. So we can enable a hot plug for the RAM, which is pretty cool. Actually, it's very, very cool. It's something pretty dope. Which means I can change the RAM with the VM powered on. Yeah. That's something that Windows Server lets you do, and it's amazing. Because, like, that's totally possible in real life. Some server racks do let you do that. You can take the RAM away, you can add more RAM with it powered on. And I heard, I'm not sure if that's true or not, but like there's certain server racks that let you swap the processor with the VM turned on. Not the VM, I mean the system turned on. Ain't that amazing? Like hot swapping the CPU, that's crazy. But yeah, it's doable. It's possible. And anyway, so yeah, let's turn on hot plug. Why not? It doesn't matter much. So network adapter. Let's go with VM network, because that's that depends on your network setting, which you configured on. I mean, you could be running ESXi on a proper server, or in a VM like I'm doing right now. So I mean, I configure network that way, so I'm gonna go with VM network, but that's up to you. I mean, maybe you have a different adapter, maybe you have a different setting which you made for the servers, maybe you have like a specific like function for this server. It's just gonna be part of the network. It's not gonna be like AD or DHCP from now. I mean, I could give it a function later on, but from now it's just for the tutorial. So here you take the ISO file, which is right here, which is gonna make the system boot. I mean, you can't boot without ISO. You could use I think vSphere at a client for Windows, which would let you do that, like upload ISO as well. But from the browser, the only way is uploading it beforehand on storage management, and then you come here and select. So video card, we don't have a video card. I mean, we do have, but there's no pass-through in VMware, so you can't quite see my card. VMware Workstation, I mean, ESXi, I think it does support pass-through, but as I'm running it into a VM, so it's a sort of, it's a VM inside of a VM. It's kind of weird. I know, Inception, sort of, because like ESXi is for virtualization, and I'm running it virtualized. So it's kind of, you know, but whatever, you know. It does the trick. So we just pretend that it's a proper server running it, and you know, it's expensive, so we gotta go that way. Not like you can buy a server and oh yeah, let's use that for ESXi and play around with VMs. Of course, I have one grand to spare with that. Not quite. Anyway, so here's the VM. You can like change whatever you want to change before actually powering on. So you make sure that everything's set as you want, like the ISO file and all the things you're gonna ever need, storage, network, and now we can power on. And one cool thing about ESXi is that you can actually control the VM from your web browser and even from your phone if you want to. Yeah, you can. There is an app for Android. I'm not sure if there's for iPhone as well, but you can control the VM from your very own cell phone as long as it's connected to the same network. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know. Technology, my buddies. You can manage like how much RAM it's using, both the VM and ESXi. You can reboot. You can like see the logs. You can see whatever's going on with the VMs. So like, let's say it's a company and your friends messing around, your job mates messing around with a VM. I can kind of see what he's doing. It's pretty cool. A bit creepy, I know, but you know, it's part of the job. You have to manage that, make sure that no one's doing weird stuff. So yeah, let's install. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's Windows. Not like not like it's hard Linux. So fucking hard to install. So here we have to take our type of Windows Server. So there's standard, there's enterprise, data center, there's a full install. So we're gonna go with which one? Standard. Let's go with standard because like I don't want to go with something fancy because I have like 20 gigs of free space in total. Even though it shows up I have more than that, but it's thin provision, so there's that. So let's go with standard, and there is a full install which has the interface, a start menu, all of those things you're used to, the graphical interface, and you could go with server core, which would be PowerShell. And PowerShell is kind of, I don't know, I don't like it. So no, let's go with the full install. Yeah, terms look fun, I'm okay with that. Custom, yeah, you take the disk, just 20 gigabytes. Then there's no partitioning because it's not like Linux, which could make a home, a swap. You know, it just does that on its very own. Install process takes a little bit, and that's alright though. And then I'll teach you guys how to enable RDP so that you can actually use your Windows remote access feature to control the VM, which is kind of better. Because you don't have to install like VMware Tools to have like full screen or all those things, you know. Because I'm not quite sure, but I think that from like my own experience and like years and years messing around with VM, seems like VMware Tools takes a little bit of RAM. And when you're dealing with a limited amount, like it's my case right now, because I'm running with just 8 for this specific virtualizer. So it's not like I have limitless resources, you know. So when you're dealing with limited stuff, when you're dealing with just 8 gigs for like 10 VMs or more with different demands, different configurations as well. You know, every megabyte matters. Every single megabyte, every single byte matters. Should be more specific. So everything matters. You gotta save up on that. So yeah, VMware Tools, if you have like plenty of RAM and don't worry about that, it's okay. You can have VMware Tools and access to the web client or vSphere if you wish. But I would say RDP is kind of the way to go for who's dealing with like home labs with not a lot of RAM unless you got the money to spare on like 64 gigs per G, so on and so on. But like as we're dealing with a very, very limited environment, let's just, play it safe and go with the RDP way, which lets you full screen out of the box. You don't have to install any tools. You just go there and type the IP in, and boom, there you go. You have RDP straight out of the box. Simple as that. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna enable RDP and try and mess around with the VM. As you can see, it installs pretty quick, given it's the same environment, same disk. It's the same disk where the system is, so an install kind of flies. And it's ESXi. It's really damn fast for virtualization. Actually impressive how well it performs. It may sound like kind of dumb, you run a hypervisor inside of a VM. It's kind of like, it's like running, OpenOffice inside of Microsoft Word, or Firefox inside of Chrome. It's that kind of weird, but it does make sense though. Because, I wanted to learn ESXi, and I can't buy a server or a spare computer to install it, so why not go the VM way? It's pretty damn optimized though. It doesn't take the entire RAM like Zen Server, for instance. Because I was trying to mess around with Zen Server, I took the trial, and as soon as I booted up, it took the entire RAM. So it pre-allocates your whole RAM. It doesn't matter if you have or if you don't have VMs running, it just takes it all. And it's not quite good, it's not like it's a problem. Computers were made to be working hard, so it's not really, it's gonna damage my computer. It's not that, but it's just weird, because it's when you just want to deal with like 1-2 VMs using like 500 megabytes each, and you look at your task manager and it's taking like 100%, like 80% of the whole computer. It's just weird, the pre-allocation. There might be a way to like get rid of that, but straight out of the box, that's how Zen Server does things. And I was like, nope, not gonna do that. And then I tried Proxmox, which is open source. It's a open source virtualizer, hypervisor, in fact, based on Debian and KVM, I think, and Camus. But the install went pretty damn right. I could like open the web interface, manage a few things, but I tried to install a VM and it kind of failed. I don't know why. Maybe a certain setting, because it's a little different from ESXi, even though they're pretty similar. As far as the panel goes and system functions in general, they're pretty damn similar. ESXi is based on Linux as well, so that does make sense, the fact that they're similar. I don't know what it uses. I think it's specific. It's a VMware proprietary tool, I imagine. But they're all Linux inside, They all share kind of Linux kernel, but it's actually faster than I thought. 93. That's pretty damn cool. But yeah, from all those hypervisors so far, ESXi has been like the very best as far as speed goes and ease of use. And I plan to test more this week just to make sure. But from now, as far as RAM usage goes on idle, without VMs running, Proxmox was kind of better, but it failed to virtualize. So whenever I tried to load my Debian VM in there, it was just no, not gonna happen. I'm sorry, buddy, but nope. So I was a little concerned about that, but idle-wise, it was using a little less RAM, which is good. It was using I don't know. I don't think it was using a gig was using like 700 megabytes, which is pretty damn cool if you have like not a lot of RAM to spare. But as far as functionality goes, ESXi is the way to go. Definitely, like the web client's so complete. You can do everything from it. You don't depend on the proper ESXi server. You don't have to go to it and control it, because you can do anything from the client, from the web client. I mean, you can reboot, you can see the logs, you can change the settings, and whatever you want to do. There's, a lot of freedom when it comes to that. And the fact that it can like control the VMs from a very cool and not so like heavy resource-wise browser client, it's pretty damn cool. I'm impressed. I mean, compared with Proxmox, which has a very, it lets you control the VMs as well, but it's not as cool. There's no moving windows and shit. It's just there and it's blurry. It's a sort of VNC thingy. I prefer this one because you can minimize, you can move around, you can deal with like, I don't know, 3-4 VMs at once from the same screen. I find it pretty cool. And the management looks easier, because like Proxmox is very complete. I'm not saying that Proxmox is bad. It's not. I liked it. But like, it's kind of overwhelming at first. You load in and you're like, holy shit, what am I supposed to do in here? There's so much everywhere. Where should I go first? What should I do first? I don't know. Someone help me here. And ESXi though, it feels okay. It's like, oh, so if you're used to VMware like workstation, VMware player, you're gonna find yourself at home. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just, I would say they kind of ported over the few and added more features, of course, because ESXi aims towards servers, a professional market in general, so it has a little more features. It's more feature packed, but it just, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it just feels like home. If you're used to VMware stuff in general, you just feel at home, totally at home. And the learning curve's pretty damn small. There's not a lot to learn if you are used to VMware, I mean, because I don't know how it is if you are not, but who's not? That's the point. Who's not used to VMware in 2018? It's pretty damn easy, and that's wonderful. Because being complex and hard is, I would say, it's not quite the thing, because time is money, and you gotta save time. You gotta, you gotta spend that time you would actually use to learn a platform to improve your knowledge on what you already know. So, dig deeper. So instead of learning how to use basic features, you could be learning how to, I don't know, do something pretty damn fancy, like a different kind of network setup, and like how to manage. Well, I don't know. It's up to you. I mean, just improving your knowledge instead of learning the basics again, like moving from, I don't know, let's say a different hypervisor to another one, which is not as straightforward, and then you have to learn how to make the wheels again. It's kind of counterproductive in that matter. Let's type in a password for the admin account. So there we go. Oh, your password has been changed. And here we are. That's the server. Windows Server Standard R2. As you can see, it was pretty damn fast. And it works pretty damn good straight out of the box. I got more RAM, so it's probably gonna be a little more taxing on my computer, but generally, as you can see, it's flowing very, very, very damn good, pretty damn good. So yeah, that's it, and it's installed. Then it's just up to you what you want to do with it, what you want to configure, which settings do you want to mess around with. You know, it's all up to you now. So yeah, I hope that helped you guys with this process. So yeah, let's go with the VMware Tools install now, because you guys might be wondering, how do we do that? So let's take different. Wait a second. We gotta change the drive. Oh, we have to go to settings. So VMware Tools Actions. Guest OS, install VMware Tools. It's really similar to VMware Workstation, as you can see. It's pretty damn similar. It's almost the same thing. And it's right here, install. And let's install it. It's pretty straightforward if you're used to Workstation. It's pretty much like Workstation, but on internet. Kinda, because it's local network, but still, it's Workstation running on your browser, pretty much. Except it's a type 1 instead of a type 2 hypervisor. But yeah. Run setup 64. Okay. Kinda ran it twice, which is not good, but next. Yeah, let's go with this one. Not like I want to have a custom install. It's up to you. I mean, you can... Oh, what? Wow. So as soon as setup was done, it kind of prompted the old ISO. That's cool. It's very smart, so you don't have to do that manually. Saves some time for you. Like, let's say you want to keep the ISO in for some reason after installing the system. It kind of does that for you, you know? It puts the CD right back. Props to that. Another like great thing about installing the tools is that it shows up a little more about the computer regarding network and all the IPs and you know, the switches and whatever you have on the computer, network cards and shit. So yeah. It takes a little more RAM, but you know, it's up to you. I mean, if you have limited resources, you could go RDP way. Remote desktop's pretty dope as well. I mean, it does a trick. You have full screen straight off the box. You don't have to install any sort of tools. It just works, you know. But yeah, damn, it's taking the whole memory. Damn, Daniel. And using a lot of my processor as well, so we have to send a control down. You go here, where is it? Snapshots, send keys. Oh, there you are. Guest OS, control down. I wish it was easier, like it is on a Workstation, but that's alright. Not like we have to send control down all the time. So here we are. It's fully operational. Notepad. You see. It's already connected to the network. IP config. Sorry about that. So here's the IP. It's connected to the network and to the DNS, even though it's showing the wrong DNS for some reason, but still, here we are. Has everything working straight out box. As you can see, it's pretty damn simple. It's just like it is in Workstation. So yeah, if you ever like buy a license, just go here and activate, and whenever you run out of 180 days, you can just install again, and so on and so on, and so it goes. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, let's teach you guys how to enable RDP. So you go here, properties, remote settings. Come on, there you go. So you can, it's up to you. Like, it's a VM, so I don't care about how safe it is, mostly because it's local, so it's not like people from from outside can access this VM, and even if they did manage to break in somehow, that wouldn't be a problem. It's just a VM anyway. So yeah, let's allow connections. So here we go. We have them allowed. I'm gonna hide the display for a second because I want to show up a few things when I start mini, but I'll be right back with network connection screen. It's 54 the IP as far as I remember. Yeah, it's 54. Options, administrator. Oh yeah, there you go. So you type in the password. Oh, I'm not showing up. I'm dumb. I'm not showing it to you guys. You guys have to see what's going on here. So yeah, password typed in. Remember password, because why? What do you mean? Oh shit. Okay, I know what's going on. It's an easy fix, but I have to type in a bunch of things in there. Oh shit, dude. Oh, there we go. That's better. Now it's gonna work. It was just the wrong setting, it seems. Now it's gonna let me do it. See? Yeah, that was just a matter of setting up the right thing. So as you can see, we have full screen. Works pretty damn fast because it's local network. I mean, RDP usually is pretty slow if the server is far away from you, but given it's a local environment, it's pretty damn snappy, and it looks way better than, you know, being in a client. You know, it's way better. It's the right way to actually do remote control. I mean, there's no right or wrong way, but it's just it's down to personal preference, and that's how I like it. And that's it, my dudes. I think that's it. I mean, systems working. We have RDP. I mean, if you guys want more on like Windows Server settings, stuff like that, just let me know. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me on the comment sections. I'll be pretty happy to help you as soon as I can, and I'm pretty much always online, so it's gonna be a very quick answer, hopefully. But that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much, and feel free to leave a feedback if you wish. Like if I fucked up somehow, if I forgot something, you know, just don't be shy. You know, speak up. Don't be shy at all. It's all right. I don't mind. Feedback's always good. Anyway, goodbye.